There comes a moment in your life when you finally realize no one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not the person you keep waiting for. No one. It's just you. And for some people, that realization feels painful. But for you, it will become your power. You see, when you stop expecting others to rescue you, you stop living like a victim, you stop waiting for the right moment, the right support, or the right opportunity. You simply decide, I'll do it myself. Because the truth is, the people around you have their own lives, their own problems, their own paths. And that's okay, but your path, that's your responsibility. Most people spend their lives waiting for motivation, waiting for approval, waiting for someone to notice their potential. They keep hoping someone will believe in them enough to push them forward. But life doesn't reward the ones who wait. It rewards the ones who move. Even when no one claps, even when no one sees, even when no one helps. You need to understand something powerful. Every person you admire, every person who's built something meaningful, they started alone. They didn't have a crowd cheering them on. They didn't have a perfect plan. They just had a decision. A decision that no matter what, they would figure it out. They would try, fail, learn, and try again, without asking for permission, without needing validation. The moment you start doing things by yourself, everything changes. You begin to trust your own strength. You stop doubting yourself because you're no longer depending on others to confirm your worth. You build confidence the hard way through action, through repetition, through silence. You begin to feel a fire inside of you that no one can give and no one can take away. Stop thinking people owe you something. They don't. No one owes you understanding, help, or support. If they give it, be grateful, but never depend on it. You are responsible for your growth, your peace, your future. You are responsible for turning your pain into power, your doubts into discipline, your loneliness into focus. There will be days when it feels unfair, days when you'll question why you have to do it all alone. But those are the days that will shape you, because the truth is, solitude is where greatness is born. When no one's watching, you learn who you really are. You discover that you are capable of so much more than you ever imagined. One day you'll look back and realize that doing it yourself was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because while others were waiting to be helped, you were building. While others were complaining, you were growing. While others were talking, you were executing. You realize that all those moments of silence, all those lonely nights, all those tears, they made you unstoppable. They turned you into someone who doesn't need saving because you learned to save yourself. So stop waiting, stop asking for permission, stop hoping someone will show up and make it easier. Start now. Start messy, start scared, but just start. Because once you begin to rely on yourself, you'll never go back to the old version of you that needed validation to move forward. The strength you're searching for is already inside you. You just need to stop looking for it in everyone else. No one will help you. Do it yourself and prove to the world that you never needed them anyway. You know what's funny? People spend so much time waiting for someone to help them, waiting for someone to come along and say, I believe in you. But no one's gonna pick you up and carry you to the life you want. You have to do that yourself. That's where real strength is born. Not in comfort, not in support, but in self-reliance. At first it hurts to realize that. It feels unfair, doesn't it? You look around and see people with more support, more opportunities, more guidance, and you think, why can't I have that? But here's the truth. The universe gives its hardest battles to the ones who are meant to lead, not to follow. You are being shaped by the silence, by the struggle, by the solitude. You are being taught to rely on no one but yourself, because the version of you that's coming needs to be unstoppable. Self-reliance is not about shutting everyone out. It's about understanding that your progress is your responsibility. It's about knowing that even if no one claps, even if no one supports you, you will still move forward. Because your goals are not up for debate. They don't depend on someone else's approval. You move because you've decided that you're not going to sit around and wait for someone to fix your life. You move because you owe it to yourself. You see, the moment you stop depending on others, everything shifts. You start making decisions based on your vision, not their validation. You start trusting your own voice instead of seeking reassurance. You stop asking, what do they think? And start saying, this is what I'm doing. That's when you become dangerous. Not because you're cold, but because you're free. When you rely on others too much, you give away your power. You hand over the keys to your happiness, your direction, your worth, and then you wonder why you feel lost. But when you take those keys back, when you say, I'll figure it out myself, something incredible happens. You start realizing you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. You learn to solve problems. You learn to adapt. You learn to build yourself up after every fall. And suddenly, you no longer need saving. You become your own rescue. It's not easy. There will be nights when you'll question if you're strong enough, days when you'll wish someone would just show up and make it easier. But those moments are where your character is built. You'll cry, you'll fall, but you'll also rise stronger, wiser, and more independent. Every time you pick yourself up without help, you build trust in yourself. You start realizing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. And that kind of self-trust, it's unshakable. When you're self-reliant, you stop fearing loss because you know you can rebuild anything. You stop begging for attention because you give yourself the validation you need. You stop trying to fit in because you're too focused on growing. People will notice. They'll feel your energy shift. They'll sense that you don't need them. And ironically, that's when they'll start showing up. But by then, you'll know better. You won't depend on their presence to feel whole anymore. You'll start living on your own terms. You'll stop asking for permission to chase your dreams. You'll make moves quietly, work relentlessly, and watch your results speak louder than your words ever could. That's what self-reliance gives you: freedom. Freedom from waiting, freedom from disappointment, freedom from being controlled by who shows up and who doesn't. The world respects people who take control of their lives. Not the ones who complain, not the ones who wait, but the ones who say, I'll do it myself, and then actually do it. That energy is rare. It's magnetic. It's powerful because it's pure. It's not built on dependency or fear. It's built on self-discipline, on faith in your own abilities. You have to learn to be your own motivation. No one is going to remind you why you started. No one is going to push you out of bed when it's hard. That's your job. You want to change your life? Then take full ownership of it. Stop looking around for help. Start looking within. Everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the clarity, the drive. You just need to stop doubting it. When you start relying on yourself, you stop waiting for the perfect moment. You realize that perfection doesn't exist. Progress does. You move with what you have where you are, and that's enough. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum creates results. So stop hoping someone will see your potential and pull you up. Stop wishing someone would believe in you. Believe in yourself first. Show yourself that you can. Do it scared. Do it uncertain. Do it tired. Just do it. Because every small step you take alone builds a foundation no one can break. There's power in knowing that you don't need anyone to validate your path. There's freedom in knowing that your destiny is in your hands. You are not helpless. You are not weak. You are capable of creating the life you want, and you don't need anyone's permission to start. The moment you understand that no one's coming to help you, you become unstoppable. Because then everything you build, everything you achieve, everything you conquer, it's yours. Earned, owned, deserved. And that kind of success, the one built by your own hands, is the most beautiful kind there is. Being alone is not your weakness. It's your greatest gift. You don't even realize how powerful solitude is until life forces you into it. When the noise fades, when the people disappear, when it's just you and your thoughts, that's when the real transformation begins. Because when you're alone, you can finally hear your own voice. The voice you've been drowning out with distractions, validation, and other people's opinions. That voice is the one that guides you toward your purpose. Most people can't handle being alone because it exposes them. It shows them who they really are, without masks, without filters, without roles to play. But that's exactly what you need. You need to face yourself. You need to understand your patterns, your fears, your desires. You can't evolve if you're constantly surrounded by noise. Growth doesn't happen in chaos. It happens in silence. It happens in the moments when no one's watching, when you're sitting in your room questioning everything, when you feel lost but still choose to move forward. You see, solitude teaches you to depend on yourself emotionally. It shows you that you don't need constant attention to feel worthy. You don't need to be surrounded by people to feel valuable. You are enough even when you're unseen. That's a power most people will never experience, being content in your own company. Because the truth is, once you become comfortable with being alone, you become unstoppable. You no longer chase people, you no longer settle for temporary comfort, and you no longer fear being misunderstood. Being alone sharpens your focus. When there are no voices around you, you can finally hear your intuition. You start seeing your path more clearly because there's no one else's energy clouding your vision. You start making choices that align with who you truly are, not who you think you should be. That's how you start building a life that actually feels right, not one that just looks good from the outside. There's something sacred about solitude. It's not loneliness. It's alignment. It's you returning to yourself. Because let's be honest, most people lose themselves in others. They give so much energy trying to please, to fit in, to be loved, that they forget who they are without all that. Being alone is your chance to find that person again, the one who existed before the world told you who to be. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first. You'll feel the emptiness. You'll feel the silence pressing on you. You'll want to distract yourself, to text someone, scroll endlessly, or run back to what's familiar. But if you stay, if you just sit in that silence, something beautiful happens. You start healing. You start realizing that peace doesn't come from people. It comes from within. The world moves fast. Everyone's chasing something: attention, love, validation. But when you learn to sit alone and be still, you separate yourself from the chaos. You start valuing your time, your energy, your peace. You no longer give it to people who don't deserve it. You stop explaining yourself, stop proving yourself. You simply exist fully, unapologetically. That's real power. The truth is, solitude builds emotional discipline. It teaches you to regulate your own emotions instead of expecting others to fix them. It teaches you patience, resilience, and focus. You become your own comfort. You become your own stability. You stop expecting others to fill the void because you've learned to fill it yourself. And that kind of peace, the one you build on your own, no one can take away from you. When you embrace solitude, you also stop fearing loss. You stop clinging to people out of fear that you'll be empty without them. You realize you were never empty. You were just disconnected from yourself. The more you reconnect with who you are, the less you need to hold on to anyone. You start choosing people because you want them, not because you need them. And that difference changes everything. You start protecting your peace like it's sacred, because it is. You stop entertaining drama, gossip, fake connections. You don't chase after what's leaving. You understand that anything that walks away from your life was never meant to stay. You no longer fight to prove your worth because you know you are enough just as you are. That's the kind of calm that only solitude can give you. When you finally learn to love your own company, your energy changes. You move differently. You talk differently. You stop begging for attention because you've realized that you already have the only approval that matters, your own. You don't need to convince anyone to see your value. You just embody it. And that quiet confidence becomes your power. You see, solitude isn't the absence of connection, it's the foundation of it. Because only when you know yourself can you connect with others from a place of wholeness, not desperation. You'll attract people who match your peace, not your wound. You'll attract relationships that grow with you, not drain you. So stop fearing being alone. Embrace it. Let it teach you, shape you, and prepare you. Because the stronger you become in your solitude, the less you'll settle in the presence of others. You'll start building boundaries. You'll stop letting people play with your time and emotions. You'll know exactly what you deserve, and you won't accept anything less. Being alone doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're rebuilding. It means you're growing into the version of yourself that doesn't need constant reassurance, validation, or company. It means you're becoming whole. And one day you'll look back and thank those silent seasons of your life. You'll realize that solitude didn't break you. It built you. It stripped away everything fake so that only the real you remained. The calm, confident, self-assured you, the one who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't wait, because she knows that everything she needs already lives within her. You keep waiting for the right moment, the right support, the right sign. But let me tell you something. The perfect moment doesn't exist. You're wasting time waiting for everything to feel ready, for someone to tell you it's your time. But no one is going to do that. You have to give yourself permission. You have to start before you feel ready, because that's how real change begins. Not when the world believes in you, but when you do. Stop asking people what they think. Stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for motivation to magically appear. Motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after it. You'll never feel confident until you start doing the things that scare you. Confidence is built through repetition, through showing up even when you don't feel like it. So start, even if it's messy, even if you're scared, even if you don't have everything figured out, because action will teach you what waiting never will. You think people who succeed have it all planned out? They don't. They just move. They fail, they fall, they adjust, and they keep going. That's how progress works. You can spend your whole life preparing, planning, imagining, but nothing changes until you act. And when you act, you'll start realizing something powerful. No one's opinion matters as much as you thought. The only opinion that truly shapes your life is your own. Most people never start because they're afraid of judgment. They're scared someone will laugh, someone will criticize, someone will say they're not good enough. But here's the truth. They'll talk no matter what you do. If you fail, they'll talk. If you succeed, they'll still talk. So why let their voices control your life? Let them talk. You just keep moving. Because while they're busy talking, you'll be busy building. The ones who make it in life aren't the most talented. They're the most consistent. They don't rely on how they feel. They rely on discipline. They show up on the days they don't want to. They do the work when no one's watching. They don't wait for motivation because they know motivation is temporary. Action is what creates results. You have to stop waiting for approval and start creating your own path. The world doesn't owe you understanding. People won't always get what you're doing, and that's okay. They don't need to. Your vision wasn't given to them, it was given to you. So protect it. Don't explain yourself to small minds. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Keep moving quietly, intentionally, powerfully. Let your results speak for you. When you stop seeking validation, something shifts inside you. You stop needing applause. You stop craving attention. You stop being affected by whether people support you or not. Because your focus becomes bigger than your emotions. You're not doing it to be seen anymore. You're doing it because it's who you are. You're doing it because you promised yourself that you'd never settle for less. That kind of drive, the kind that comes from within, is unstoppable. There will be times when you feel unseen, unappreciated, misunderstood. You'll want to quit because no one notices your effort. But that's exactly when you need to keep going. The world doesn't reward the ones who start. It rewards the ones who don't stop. Every great person you admire kept moving when no one believed in them. They built in silence. They worked when no one cared. They believed before anyone else did. And that's what made them great. You can't wait to feel ready. Readiness comes from action. You grow through doing, not thinking. You'll never know all the answers at the start. And you don't need to. You'll learn what you need to know as you go. Life meets you halfway once you move. The problem is most people never take that first step. They want guarantees. They want certainty. But life doesn't work that way. You'll never know what's possible for you until you take the risk and try. Take the leap, don't overthink it, don't let fear talk you out of it. Fear will always be there, but courage is acting despite it. You'll surprise yourself with how much you can handle. Once you start, you'll realize that you never needed to wait for anyone's support because you were capable all along. Every small action you take builds momentum. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you become stronger. Every time you push through doubt, you prove to yourself that you're in control. That's how you build the kind of self-respect that no one can give you. That's how you stop being dependent on praise or recognition. You start doing things because they align with your purpose, not because someone's watching. Stop thinking small, stop hesitating, stop underestimating what you're capable of. You're waiting for a sign. This is it. Get up, do the thing, post it, apply for it, start it, speak it, build it, even if it's uncomfortable, especially if it's uncomfortable. Because growth never comes from comfort. It comes from movement. You'll thank yourself one day for starting when no one believed in you. You'll look back and realize that taking action without validation was the best decision you ever made. Because everything you built came from your own strength. You didn't wait for the world to give you permission. You created your own lane. You'll understand that the ones who talked out and criticized were never your problem. The real battle was with your own hesitation, your own self-doubt. And the moment you defeated that, everything changed. So stop waiting for help. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Do it now. Do it scared. Do it unprepared. Because one day, the same people who ignored your efforts will look at you and wonder how you did it. And you'll smile because you'll know the truth. You did it yourself. You took action when no one clapped. You kept going when no one cared. You turned your fear into fire. And that's what made you unstoppable.